Alright, hello everybody and welcome to my review of the Julbo Aero sunglasses. Here they are in all their glory. Well, truth is, I lost my old ones, which were the Julbo Venturis, so I had to pick up new ones. I had a couple of old ones laying around, but once you're used to a certain level of comfort and good glasses, it's just hard to go back. So I went with those, the Julbo Aeros, which are essentially the successor to the Julbo Venturis. They have improved in many points, and I like the Venturis, but I truly love those ones. Um, this review will be full of positivity. I couldn't really find a negative point about those, but maybe, yeah, I'll probably be able to make one up. Right. So these are the Julbo Arrows with the Spectrum 3CF lenses, which means they're not adapting to how much sunlight light is thrown at them, so they don't change the level of darkness for that, as would the zebra lenses. They're the zebra 1 to 3, the zebra 2 to 4, and those spectrum lenses available for the arrows. And those zebra lenses, they change actually the darkness, which can be very useful. The thing is though that they cost twice as much, and this set only was 60 to 70 euros. So if you have the money laying around, go with the zebras. They're amazing. I use them with the Venturis. They're really good, and they're just good. Just go with them if you can. However, this is still a very good option. And if you don't have the pocket money laying around to go with the zebras, then the spectrons are just fine. Reason is that they still sort of increase the contrasts, and they're still incredibly clear and give you that nice and constant vision, which still make you feel like you're not wearing sunglasses actually, even though you might have to take them off if you're getting into a darker bit of the forest, right? But that's pretty much it, and you just have to sort of adapt on the fly with more manual techniques instead of the sunglasses doing the job for you. All right, so let's go for the review, and let's start with the lenses actually. With the arrows now, there's one continuous lens actually, which only attaches to the frame here in the middle and on the sides. The glasses, the lenses themselves are just incredibly clear, more so than any, let's say, sort of cheaper glasses. So that's really where you start to notice the quality of Julbo glasses, and which is also one of the reasons why I went with those. Incredibly clear, they sort of still increase the contrasts. You have a fantastic vision and view of what is ahead and what you might want to watch out for, right? So that's a thing, and they have a level 3 darkening degree, right? So there are 4 degrees in total, and this is level 3, so they don't completely shut you out of the world, but they still darken the view a fair bit so that you can see more comfortably. And it's a very comfortable sort of darkening level. If it gets dark outside, or if you're on a sort of late afternoon, evening run, at some point you might have to put them on the top of your head, but that's fine. They don't jump around or anything, so they're pretty safe there too. All right. So that's that. I really like them. The cool thing about with that fact is that you can also use them for, for example, in a car when you're driving or when you're on a train. Because if you have the car's windows, they sort of block the UV light, which would trigger the zebra lenses. So there's actually an advantage to having the cheaper lenses. All right, enough of that. They also have an anti-fog coating in there, which keeps them from fogging up when weather conditions are extreme, which can actually be very useful when you're out on those runs and you really don't want those glasses to fog up. And that's really a quality of those glasses. As sort of an interim solution, I was using an old pair of glasses which I had, and they were fogging up on the run, and that is why actually in the afternoon of that day I went on and picked those up because it's such a dramatic difference. Aside from that, clear vision, of course, and one thing that they use for a lot of glasses is a technology they call Panoramic Vision. The idea just is that the lenses are huge and they cover your entire eyes and you don't see anything, you don't see the frame, you just have one uniform view and sense of vision. So there's no interruptions because the glasses end or the lenses end, or you see the edges of the lenses. You can only sometimes see, when you're looking far to the left or far to the right, you can see those attachment points right here. but that's really it, and that's probably the only negative thing I could find, is that you can sometimes see those bits and points there. But then again, it makes the glasses in general look not all that wide, which is a good thing. All right, so much for the lenses. Really, really good, coherent, uniform view, just great. In terms of aero, they're not particularly aerodynamic, I guess, but what they do have is a lot of ventilation. You know, how important that is, let's say it's questionable, but it's of course it's certainly relevant, because you don't want a lot of sweat building up behind the frames here, frame here, roll around it. You want your sweat to be dripping, flowing down your face and your head, even down. Though that sounds a bit disgusting, but you know what I mean, because you don't want to feel those wet lines around your glasses, which can happen if you're not wearing really good and sport specific glasses. So they have a venting line up here, because the frame up here, it doesn't attach to the lens, so there's a bit of venting going on here and here. Of course, also on the sides, right here and there too. And there's other slips in there. All right. Generally, I'm not sure whether they work that well, but they feel good. I don't have a lot of sweat building up there, and I think there really is a bit of airflow going on there. And even when you're out hiking and your face is staring down on the glasses, there's no sweat dripping onto the lenses, which is the most crucial point here. Because when that happens, you feel gross, and your vision is restricted, and you don't want that to happen, and it doesn't happen, which is great, and all that's supposed to be the case, right? Of course, they're also very light. You don't really feel them when you're wearing them. That's what matters. They're very light, and still very sturdy, so you feel like you can throw at them whatever you want. Just don't throw rocks, because that might break them. All right, so here, let's talk about comfort now, because that's probably one of the most crucial points. Here you have the nose clip, and you can sort of adjust it and bend it however you wish in any direction. And I felt like I had to really do that with the Julbo Venturis, just to make sure it doesn't, slip down my nose and fall off my face entirely. And with this, I just don't really need to do that. It holds on to my nose quite nicely, doesn't slip down. It's very comfortable. There's no bunch of sweat building up. It's great. It's nice rubber. It's very comfortable. And if you have a weirdly shaped nose, as I probably do have, you can still bend it around however you wish. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, And then you also see the blue rubber up here on the ends of the frame, the back sides. Now, I felt like when I saw this in the promotional video, it was a bit gimmicky, because you can just touch it and it goes down. It's very, very soft and almost flimsy, one might say. But it's one of the best features of those sunglasses, because they're rather sticky, so they don't slip around on your head, and it makes them much, much more easy on the skin of your ear up here, right? Because there's no real pressure put on the ear, and since it's a bit wider in profile and just soft rubber, it doesn't really how do you say, like, cut into your skin, because that's a problem I had with the Venturis. That was sort of cutting into my ears up there, especially when they were moving around a bit and was sweating and everything. This is not the case anymore with the Aeros, and that's something I really love about them. Right, that's an amazing thing, and something that makes those glasses feel as comfortable as nothing I've ever worn in terms of eyewear. They just sort of grip much better to your head in general. They don't slip around, they don't jump around. They just fit amazingly, and I don't know what they did exactly to the frame, but whatever they did, it worked. It's also a different sort of plastic, I think, and it's a bit more sturdy. I don't have to always bend those bits of the frame to make it sort of attached to my face. It's just perfect. Maybe it's just my head shape that really fits to them, but I think it's just the sunglasses in general. They made a huge step from coming from the Venturis, which were already great sunglasses, right? At the same time, even though they fit much better, they don't put a lot of pressure onto your head at any position, which is great, and all you want. I've been using them for running now, for hiking, and whatever you use sunglasses for in sports, and they just performed as I wanted. I wouldn't probably recommend them for roads, for cycling as much, or especially road biking, because of the ventilation. Because that, might cause more, ventilation than you want, because you want to protect your eyes from the wind that is coming in cycling. Then again, I haven't used it for that yet, because I was focused on marathon training. But yeah, that's just my sort of 5 cents on it. But then again, they also made for specifically mostly for trail running. So there you go. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. After all, there's still the sunglasses. Really good ones though. They're well worth the 60 to 70 years. I've been using it quite literally every day for the past 1 to 2 months. So I've probably run just under 1,000 kilometers with those, and they just hold up perfectly. What can I say? I recommend them to anyone. I recommend anyone who has the cash to go with them. Zebras, probably the 2 to 4s, because they offer a bit more darker levels of shading. If you are around in very deep sorts of and dark forests, I would probably recommend the 1 to 3s. But yeah, good sunglasses. I think that wraps it up for this video. I wish you a wonderful afternoon and enjoy running.